Jaya Vrinde, Jaya Vrinde, Jaya Tosi Maharani, Jaya Tosi Maharani, Jaya Tosi Maharani, Jaya Tosi Maharani.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayo Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Shri Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tadochaya Mudire. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 49, text number 27. Tathapi sunrita saumya Ridi nastiyate chale Putranuraga vishame Vidyut saudamani yatha Tathapi sunrita saumya Ridi nastiyate chale Putranuraga vishame Vidyut saudamani yatha Tathapi sunrita saumya Ridi nastiyate chale Putranuraga vishame Vidyut saudamani yatha तथापि सुंदरता सौम्य तथापि सुंदरता सौम्य तथापि सुंदरता सौम्य तथापि सुंदरता Tathapi, nevertheless, Sundrita, pleasing words, Saumya, O gentle one, Riddhi, in my heart, Nastiyate, do not remain steady, Chale, which is unsteady, Putra, for my sons, Anuraga, by affection, Vishame, prejudice, Vidyut, lightning, Saudamani, in a cloud, Yatha, as. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: even so, gentle Akrura, because my unsteady heart is prejudiced by affection for my sons, these pleasing words of yours cannot remain fixed there, just as lightning cannot remain fixed in a cloud. Please repeat. Even so, gentle Akrura, because my unsteady heart is prejudiced by affection for my sons, these pleasing words of yours cannot remain fixed there, just as lightning cannot remain fixed in a cloud. So there's purports by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami. It's short, so I can just quickly read. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, these pleasing words, Su-rita, do not remain fixed in my fickle heart. They are unsteady like fickle lightning in a fickle cloud. Sudama means cloud, and Saudamani means that which is born from a cloud, lightning. Jiva Goswami, your true words do not remain fixed in my mind, since my mind is fickle because of unequal affection for my sons. O Akrura with peaceful nature, Saumya, you should not be angry with me since you have good nature. However, this is said with deceptive intent. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namostute, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanu Sute Devi, Pranamami Hari Priye, Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So I seek all your blessings, that you kindly bless me, all of you are seniors here. Bless me that we can discuss this verse here. Hare Krishna. So we have read, so the last, I guess, few weeks we have been reading about Akrura's message for Dhritarashtra. And just to quickly summarize his theme, he actually starts off by telling Dhritarashtra, actually this throne belongs to the son of the Pandu. He starts off at that point. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the Pandavas. And then he says you should do three things. You should act according to dharma, right? Give up all your adharmic activities. You should develop silena. Silena means good character. And third thing, you should be samaha. You should be equally disposed. So this point of equally disposed is kind of his main theme, because he's saying, be equally disposed to your sons and the sons of Pandavas. See them with equal vision. And it's when the Pandavas actually came into when Pandu actually, he died, he passed away. Then when the Pandavas came in, they were just young boys. So one way it was like Dhritarashtra should have been equally poised to his sons, and they were just young boys. He shouldn't have been differentiating even at that time, when they were young boys. And then actually he was just taking care of the kingdom for his son, for his brother Pandu. Often people ask this question, that isn't it that Dhritarashtra was elder, so hence Duryodhana is supposed to be the king? But actually Dhritarashtra was never anointed as you are the king. He was just like, initially like Pandu, when he went to the forest, like after all his victories, he went to the forest, and he said, Dhritarashtra, okay, since Pandu is gone, you take care. And then when he was cursed later on, they said, okay, you continue taking care. He was never actually officially the king. And then when the sons of Pandu came back, actually the kingdom belonged to the sons of Pandu. He just had to wait for them to grow up to the right age and give them the kingdom. Anyway, so the third one is equally disposed. So he should be equally disposed to Pandavas and the Kauravas, right? And then he's actually saying, okay, these three you have to develop. If you act otherwise, then what will happen? And he says that you'll be condemned, and you're condemned, and then your next life you live in hell. And then he talks about the temporary nature of this material world, right? That we hear again and again, that there is no permanent relationship with anyone. You're so attached to Duryodhana, but that relationship is temporary. It's not going to last forever. Then one takes birth alone and he dies alone, right? So whatever sinful activities you do, you are the one who's going to suffer. And then he makes a point how dependence steal away the sinfully acquired wealth. So you have done so many things, but Duryodhana is just going to steal everything away, right? Therefore, look upon this world as a dream, right? Control your mind with intelligence and be equipoised. His final instruction is, see the Pandavas and the Kauravas with an equal vision, And that was Akrura's speech to the Dhritarashtra, right? And then, in the previous verse, which Maharaj spoke yesterday, that how Dhritarashtra actually makes the point that what you are saying is just like nectar upon an immortal person, And the point was actually said that Dhritarashtra he couldn't accept all these instructions. But when this conversation starts, it's mentioned that in that assembly, the Bhishma, Vidura, they were all there when this conversation was going on. So in that assembly, imagine Bhishma is there, Vidura is there, all of them know, right? So everyone knows this philosophy. And then he's instructing Me? So Dhritarashtra is saying, everyone knows, even I know. I am also like them, So Dhritarashtra, one way to actually not make Akrura angry, he actually said, oh, what you're speaking is wonderful. It's just like it's like nectar. It's just like, oh, giving me so much pleasure. But underneath he was thinking that I know all this, right? So in the purport to the previous verses, our acharyas make the point that first of all, Dhritarashtra was proud, and thinking of all this, like why did Dhritarashtra again and again he received instruction by Vidura, who Vidura is actually Yamaraj, right? He's one of the 12 Mahajans. So we always talk of this point that association is so important. So Dhritarashtra had the association of Vidura. Again and again, Vidura was coming and giving good counsel to Dhritarashtra, right? But he had pride in his heart. And as soon as you have pride, it actually blocks your ability to even absorb knowledge. Right? I heard in one class, they said like, if you are proud, you will not learn, right? Naturally, like if you're proud, I know. As soon as you say, I know, the concept of I know is there, then immediately your ears are blocked to receive further knowledge. Right? It's just like they compare it to a sponge. The sponge is full with water. I know. Then there is no room to absorb more. Right? So first thing with proud is you cannot learn. Right? You cannot learn. The second thing is you cannot love. Because as soon as there is pride in the heart, then the opposite of love, which is envy, that develops in the heart. As soon as there's pride, then there's competition. Oh, that person has so much, I don't have it, right? So envy develops, and as soon as there's envy in the heart, there's no question of love. So you cannot learn, you cannot love, and then you cannot last. So I heard this, I find it interesting. Last in the sense that, when we are here practicing Krishna consciousness, if there's pride in the heart, then we'll tend to make offenses. And as soon as we make offenses, then Krishna is not going to like it. Srimati Radharani Aparadha, we say, right? Srimati Radharani is not going to like it. So these three things, it comes from pride. So in the previous verse in the commentary, like first point is that he's proud. He was proud. So he's already made up his mind. I know, I cannot be equal. What I'm doing is right. My attachment to my sons, that's right. The first thing. Then second one, he denied his independent mind. And it's interesting that our acharyas mentioned that point in the commentary. And in this verse, it appears that Dhritarashtra is actually admitting his weak-heartedness. And then the next verse, actually, when we come to the next verse tomorrow, it will draw the whole picture. But the second point is he denied his independent mind. And third, he was finding fault with Krishna. And I want next verse will actually explain that, but just to give a connection to understand Dhritarashtra's mood here, that he was saying, yes, I am weak-minded, but it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Why? Because it's all Krishna's plan. Krishna has actually appeared to actually destroy the demoniac and to establish dharma. And I am just, the plan is already there. So how can I change the Krishna's plan? And that, in the next verse, the main point is that, it's, we always have a choice. Like the circumstance, we don't have a choice. But how we act in the circumstance, that we always have a choice. But Dhritarashtra was just blaming the circumstance and saying, no, it's all Krishna's plan. It's just like, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna makes a point that I am not, he makes the point that I am the controller. Prakriti, Kriyamanani, Gunai, Karmani, Sarvasa. It's all by the three modes of material nature which I finally control me. Maya Dakshena Prakriti. And if everything is controlled by Krishna, if I do something wrong, can I blame Krishna? No, you cannot blame Krishna. So Krishna gives us that independent choice. Yes, the circumstance comes by our past karma, or as we have taken devotional service, Krishna arranges the circumstance. But how we act in that circumstance is still our choice. Still our choice. But Dhritarashtra, in this verse it appears that, he's saying that because of my unsteady heart, is prejudiced by affection for my sons, I cannot accept your instructions. So it seems like he's, giving up his pride and actually saying that, oh, it's my fault. But in the next verse it says, no, that weak-heartedness is not my fault. It's all in Krishna's plan. And it's so interesting, this entire section, because at in the last verse and the 2 verses from now, we see he offers a beautiful prayer to Krishna. And it's like, how do you understand Dhritarashtra? How do you understand his heart, what's going on, and etc. But but the main thing is like we learn so much from Dhritarashtra's character, that how attachment actually blocks our hearing. We hear based on our attachment. Like a class is going on. So many people are hearing. Everyone hears what was a key point, and everyone has a different key point. Why? Because there are different attachments in our heart. And based on our attachment, that point which is like, either if the jiva is like really looking for, okay, I want to progress in a spiritual life, that attachment, the point which directly goes to the attachment, that would actually stick on to you. Or if the sadhaka is actually just like, not so much keen on progressing, then if there's some attachment, then he'll hear a point and say, like, no, yes, that's the point. It's okay what I'm doing. So it's all we hear just on our attachment. And that's exactly this verse here. And he's saying, because of my attachment to my sons, particularly the word here uses anurag. Right? Anurag, we hear this word repeatedly in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It comes in like a very high stage of prema also, like different stages of prema. There's anurag. Right? So anurag is saying that deep attachment I have for my sons. And because of that, I am prejudiced. Right? I cannot see Pandavas and Kauravas with an equal vision. Right? And then he also the word used, he says, even so gentle Akrura. Right? So again, we can consider the scene that Bhishma is there, Vidura is there, Akrura is speaking. So first of all, he doesn't want to appear ignorant. And on the same time, he wants to say that, yes, Akrura, you're so good. So, oh, gentle one, you're so nice, you're giving me these instructions. So he wants to, show that, yes, I am also, one of you, right? Oh, gentle Akrura. And then he says, because of Riddhi nastiyate, because these instructions because my heart is unsteady, chale, my heart is unsteady, these instructions will not reside in my heart, and gives a wonderful analogy. Just like lightning cannot remain fixed in a cloud. Right? So the clouds, they crash together, immediate lightning, and then that's it, it's over. Right? It's not the lightning is actually staying in the cloud. So similarly, like instructions are coming and going away. Right? And often, we're recently discussing this point, that in Bhagavad Gita we see like the first verse spoken by Dhritarashtra. Right? And it's interesting, like why Bhagavad Gita is starting with a person, that sacred knowledge is starting with a person who is weak-hearted and who is like, in the entire Mahabharata, like a character that, it's like, Dhritarashtra, come on, can you not see what's happening? Like Draupadi is being disturbed. Don't you even have the heart to speak up? Like if you're reading Mahabharata, you're coming like, Dhritarashtra is such a weak-hearted person. And he's the first speaker of the sacred knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And say like, why? It started with Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra, Vacha, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. And we're discussing this point that how Dhritarashtra heard the entire knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Right? He was hearing the whole thing. And then Arjun also heard the whole thing. Sanjaya also heard the whole thing. But we see, even Sanjaya, when he was narrating this whole thing, at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, what does he say? Oh, just by hearing this knowledge, what was the last verse? He says, like, I'm experiencing this, I forget what was the exact symptoms he says, towards the end of the 18th chapter. Anyway, he basically says that I'm feeling so enlivened by this knowledge, but there's some particular thing that he actually says that, I'm feeling so enlivened by this knowledge. My hairs are standing on edge just by receiving this knowledge. So Sanjaya is appreciating. He really appreciates knowledge. Arjun, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, what does he say? Nashta moha smriti labda, right? My moha is now gone. Smriti, my spiritual awakening has happened now, right? I have my knowledge is now come back to me. Smriti labda. So Arjun had the transformation. But Dhritarashtra, hearing the whole thing, still no transformation. Right? And I was thinking of this point, that point about attachment, the point about not wanting to change. So because of that attachment, Dhritarashtra had no interest to even think of, okay, let me change my attitude. Let me change the way I'm thinking. And because Dhritarashtra did not want to change, he did not see any flaw in himself. Hence he heard the entire Bhagavad Gita, but no change. And I was thinking this in terms of like taking up Krishna consciousness. That even though there is association of a devotee, if from within we do not have that inclination to actually, yes, I want to progress in my spiritual life, I want to grow in my bhakti. If that inclination is not there, if you think that, no, I'm doing my rounds, everything is okay, then, we won't absorb the knowledge. But as soon as there is an inclination that, no, I really want to progress in my life, I really want to come closer to Krishna, if that spark is alive in our heart, then anything we hear will be like, okay, what is it? How can I improve? How can I improve? But Dhritarashtra, that spark was like, he had no inclination to change. So even in this, he's praising Akrura. Oh, Akrura, you're so gentle one, your words are so wonderful. But I'm weak-hearted, but not my fault. Hence, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change. So I was thinking about this. This point is, personally for me, I feel like, how do we maintain that eagerness that, yes, I want to always progress. I want to progress, I want to develop my Krishna. I want to come closer to Krishna. How can we actually always keep that in our heart? Because it's so easy to become complacent in our spiritual life, like in the sense that, personally for me, it's like, okay, I'm chanting my rounds, I'm doing a little seva here and there. Everything is good, and then that as soon as we say that everything is good, then, that inclination to grow, actually that dies down. So everyone here is senior, maybe you can share some tips of how we can always maintain that eagerness to grow in our spiritual life. Would anyone like to share any points?
The verse is 8. It's the third to last verse. O King, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. And I think being thrilled at every moment is actually how we make advancement in Krishna consciousness. Because when we stop being thrilled, then it becomes like ordinary. Mm. And Krishna consciousness can't be seen as ordinary, because it's extraordinary.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Right.
I was reading in one of Prabhupada's purpose, he makes this point. He's comparing the path of Jnana Yoga or impersonal speculative process versus bhakti. And Prabhupada makes the point that bhakti, every moment, actually that verse itself said use the word like how we say Navayovana for Krishna. It says bhakti is also at every moment. That is actually bliss. And how is that? And the point in that section it was said, because Paramatma in the heart, Krishna in the heart as Paramatma, he is actually giving us inspiration at every moment. We engage in service and he is inspiring us that, okay, maybe this could be your next service, or this is how you could improve. So to actually be in, at that stage where that we are thrilled, we are receiving that inspiration from Paramatma, then we can always be in the mood of, how can I grow in a spiritual life? Would anyone like to share? How can we maintain that spark, that eagerness that, yes, I want to grow in bhakti?
But when I'm not thrilled, and when I'm feeling bad, and maybe discouraged, what do I do?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so...
When I'm feeling down, I seek devotees. Well, I was just answering to what Drishta Prabhu was saying, that what do you do when you feel down? You have to seek devotees. So even if it is, if you can't find personal association than find on YouTube.
Mm.
So
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
that always cheers me up.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I think that will provide a point.
This word "thrilled" also is can be enthusiasm. Is a
Enthusiasm,
word,
yeah.
is really what we hear when we read. Lord Chaitanya mentioned to Ishwar Puri before they took initiation, when Ishwar Puri was visiting Navadvip, and he talked about, he wanted him to look at his book that he was writing. At first, Lord Chaitanya didn't want to look at
Yeah.
it because he thought it was improper,
Yeah.
but because he kept asking him, he did. But Lord Chaitanya made the point that if someone finds something, fault finding, then it's, there's something wrong with that.
Right.
It's not proper. But then he said that even if it's improper, maybe even one chance, use an example, slokas improperly, if they do it enthusiastically, then they make Krishna will bestow his mercy much quicker than someone who chants perfectly, but without enthusiasm. So if we get bored of our repetition of our practice, our sadhana, then we have to somehow become enthusiastic, continue that enthusiasm. So I guess where that enthusiasm comes from is often either from Krishna and other Vaishnavas. We feed off of each other.
Thank you, Guru. Thank you so much. Very nice point. Utsahan, nectar of instruction says Utsahan. Yeah, but
Isn't it that in every situation, our only resort is Krishna? So however I'm feeling, I have to present that before Krishna. I remember that, I've told this many times, but I was so struck by it. At New Vrindavan once upon a time, Vishnu Jan was telling us, he said, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I just don't want to serve. I have no interest in serving Krishna. He was with the Radha Damodar party but at that time. But then I go in front of the deities and I pray, oh my Lord, I don't feel like serving you at all today. And what's more, I don't really want you to change my mind about that either.
that's like Dhritarashtra.
But I am, after all, your eternal servant. Therefore, I'm just bringing this to your attention.
Wow. I think that's a beautiful point that, whatever our heart is, if we are still like coming to Krishna and saying, Krishna, I'm being honest. This is who I am. I mean, just that honesty, that revealing ourselves to Krishna, that this is where I am, this is who I am. Then Krishna, he will connect us. Like Paramatma in the heart is like listening to everything, all our desires. And if we are honest and we are just revealing, that means we are open. That yes, we are open to Krishna, and then Krishna will give that inspiration. So, thank you. Right.
Prabhupada says in that purport that the quality of one's chanting depends on one's consciousness, and the man who's like still trying to make it big in the world, he can't have the same quality in his chanting as one who is a Kinchana Gochara.
Beautiful point. Thank you. Yeah, such wonderful points. Thank you so much. Yeah, this point about the whole theme coming to Dhritarashtra, having the association of, Bhishma also is one of the Mahajans. Yamaraj, Vidura is also one of the Mahajans. Akrura is such a great devotee. We just read his journey to Vrindavan, his devotion, all such wonderful devotees. But that inclination to change, So, that's a point I've been thinking about, how we can always have that fire to change. And one point that personally I was thinking is, we have our daily routine, we are doing our sadhana, etc., etc. But it's good to take some time where we actually disconnect, where we actually say, okay, I'm going for a spiritual retreat or going to the dham, or some way like we actually can just go and reflect on why we are doing what we are doing, what is our sadhana, what is our daily routine, and then see like, okay, what is lacking? Is it ritualistic? Am I just doing it just like, oh yeah, I have to chant my rounds. Okay, 16 rounds done, and then, or am I actually really seeking? So, and then personally for me, like going to the Dham has really helped me in that way. That it gives me time to just like reflect on my spiritual life and where I am, and feel that inspiration to like really. So that's one point, like disconnect. Like we say, disconnect to connect. If you disconnect, then you have time to like really think about your deeper connection. And the second thing I feel is honesty. Like that was the other point that I was thinking is like to actually see what are the anarthas in our heart. Sometimes is, if we really want to find out what is the thing that is holding me down, and we pray to Krishna, Krishna, please reveal. Then when Krishna shows the anarthas to us, if you pray then Krishna shows it. It's like amazing that how Krishna is so reciprocative in our spiritual life. You pray to Krishna and Krishna shows you the anartha, and then when you see the anartha, then you know, oh, this is and then you have something to work on. I have this envy in my heart. I have envy to devotees in my heart, and I need to work on this. So that gives you like some motive that, okay, this is what I should do. Right? So second is to actually introspect and see, try to find our anarthas. And the third point I was thinking, which Maharaj often mentions, is to keep the goal in mind. When we are reading throughout the Shastras, we see like all these, throughout Bhagavatam we read success stories that finally they see Krishna face to face, or how, throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, so many success stories. And if we keep the goal in mind, that my goal is not just keeping up my sadhana in a ritualistic way, but my goal is to come to that prema bhakti. Like how in Chaitanya Charitamrita it makes the point that Krishna prema bina vyartha daridra jivan, right? Das kori vetan more deha prema dhana. And basically the verse says, without Krishna prema, vyartha daridra jivan, my life is useless. So like verses like this, if you keep it in your mind that, yeah, unless I come to my goal, what is my life? Vyartha daridra jivan, it is useless. Daridra is a word. And then it says dasakore, and it's actually, the verse is saying, please make me your servant. Dasakore, vetan more, but I want salary. And what is a salary? Vetan is actually salary. Vetan kore, deha prema dhana. And just give me that Krishna prema as salary. Just engage me in your service. Otherwise, without Krishna prema, my life is useless. So shlokas like this, success stories from our Shastra, I feel like regularly studying Srila Prabhupada's books and really absorbing that, wow, that personality attains success. Is it possible for me? Is it possible for me? So those 3 points I was thinking. First is disconnect. Second is to be honest and pray to Krishna to reveal our anarthas. And then the third point I was thinking is to actually, read the Shastras where we are actually seeing, oh, this person got successful. Not that, oh yeah, he's so far, he got success, but it's possible for me. They got it. All Bhagavatam talks of success stories because they want us to have that success story. So it's possible. So let's try our best. So.
Who spoke about the 3 L's? Was it Chaitanya Charan?
No, that was it was S.P. Keshav Swami who was quoting someone else, and he didn't say who he was quoting.
Okay.
Krishna, if you search in Vedas, I don't know exactly. Krishna prema bina vyartha daridra jivan. Dasa kore vetan more deha prema dhana. So, I think we have any final points?
I just want to ask something a little deep.
Yes.
I don't know if there's time. What do you think Dhritarashtra's actual attachment was?
Dhritarashtra's actual attachment?
Yeah. Was it to his son? Or was it to what his son, I'm leading, that's a leading question.
Yeah.
To what his son represents?
Maybe you can give the answer, Maharaj.
No, I'm asking you.
Because like the point I would say is like because he was always had that thing that I should be the king, I should be the
Yeah.
king. Because that attachment was so strong, and he wanted that for his own son. He said I couldn't, but
Well, a person
Yes.
lives through his children.
yeah,
So
Yes.
it's like a surrogate.
exactly, yeah.
So he identified with his son. So his son was going to enable him to fulfill his particular greed,
Yeah.
his desires, his envy. So his son, it's described that Duryodhana was a manifestation of Dhritarashtra's consciousness.
Wow, such a nice point.
Yeah. Well, he was Kali.
Yeah, Kali Yuga,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it was a manifestation of Dhritarashtra's consciousness. And so that's why his attachment to his son was that way,
Yeah.
because his son was himself.
Right. Yeah. I think that's an excellent point. I think it's so practical also that often we see like, parents want, I couldn't do this, you become IIT graduate.
Yet
Maybe go-
they live through their children
live
rather
through their
than
children.
living their own lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you see that oftentimes.
Yeah. Wonderful, Maharaj. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for bringing that up. Wonderful. Okay, so I guess I'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all for your wonderful points and your association. Hare Krishna.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalayataksham Bharavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Akom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Dipan Dikayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham
Namaham Bhajami. Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Mudalai Srimate Bhaktivedanta Samaniti Kamanai. Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Gurmani Vachar, Mele Visesha, Shunyavani, Asachagore Zataranai. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaurata Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Dvaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaurata Vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Dvaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaurata Vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Dvaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaurata Vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I take love. I take Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Goloka Nana Goloka Nana Ragate. Paramahansa.
Shreya Kaira Chandrika Vitaranam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pradipanam Pranamidaswadanam Sarvatma Samaganam Paramgajayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amita Smarane Nakala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjanina Nuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamae Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhaktir Hoitaki Twai Nidanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitamam Bhajamavam Buddha Kripayatavapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrashim Vachintaya Nainam Galadashu Daraya Varanam Gadgadarudaya Pulakar Nishitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishe Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishavabadam Ranastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatavadamana Vidatulam Padomat Prananatastusha Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated. Spectacular. It is a prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge in the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Oh, my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh, my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I'm so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen in the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my